in the audience and I partake, and I am always blown away. And it's just a platform for women to share their stories, inspire each other. And then the idea I always tell them is like, you're in the room and next year it might be you because you have a story to tell. And then I just give them space to bond, connect, pray, cry. And it is always like, it's chef's kiss. It's beautiful. And I get excited and I feel like I'm successful when other women are thriving. That's like the joy for me. And the whole theme and idea is to whom much is given, much is required, which sometimes sounds like, like it's a power move. Like, yes, but sometimes it's more of a desperation. Like, I can't no more. It's like, but you've been given much. So if you've been given much, then you got to do much because God doesn't waste his energy or his talents or his gifts. I know you're tired, but he's given you a lot. So you can't sit and do nothing with it. You got to grow. You got to go. So that's kind of like the heart of Required Women.
And so that is how you came with the title.
Yes.
From that.
Yes.
Very unique. Nothing else like it. And when I read the title, the name of the organization, there was so many things that I could take away from that of what it meant.
Yeah.
And it encompasses a lot, just
It
so
does.
much with being a required woman in so many different areas of being a wife, being a mother, being a sister, a friend, being a co-worker, all of that stuff. There's a requirement of us. And like you said, you can't give up. We've been given so much. So we have to do a lot with that much that we've given so it doesn't become stale, and stagnant.
Exactly.
And there's people that like you, who knows how many more women would have been affected if you had started when you first had the idea. Yeah. However, there's a redeeming time.
There is a redeeming time.
You don't know who they were, but they're probably going to come again, but you won't even know that that's who they are, but that happens.
No,
so
it's true.
Everything is in the right timing. And you may have said, well, I probably should have done this, but there might have been some more growth, in you.
For me.
Yeah,
for
sure. So when you started off, you had that many women?
You have about 40. Yeah. So remember, I was a youth pastor, had a youth group of a large church, a Haitian church predominantly. And then when I got married, I had my new church family. So kind of already have like two existing bodies of people that we were connected to. So it made it fairly easy to start. But starting anything, it's like people already know, they already think what it's going to be. And I was very intentional that though it was religious based, it was never held in the church. I have never held it in the church, nor do I have every attention, because I don't want it to be a stumbling block for someone to be like, well, I don't go to church. This is not about the church. If anything, we bring the church. I am the church. So wherever I am, trust and believe you're good because the church is here. So we've done auditoriums. We did the art museum, which we outgrew. And then most recently we spent the last 3 or 4 years at the Holiday Inn. But the idea is that there is I don't want to put up any boundaries or any already set expectations for people like, oh, I already know what's going to happen because they invited me to church. No, come on to the Holiday Inn and you'll be surprised. You just might have church. That's a different story.
Yeah, that's always a stumbling block for a lot of people, something to keep them from coming because like, I don't want to go to church. I don't have anything to do with church. This isn't a church thing. This is a woman thing. And this is a life thing. So wherever we are, but like you said, we are the church. That's right. That's not supposed to be. That's just a formal 4-wall place that we enter into. Exactly. But what do you have in here? That's what matters the most.
That makes the difference.
Yeah. Morgan, Morgan just sits there all quiet, and I'm like, "Was okay." So then
I'm just listening and taking. I'll interject with questions when I've got some.
So did you want me to share how Required Fitness came about?
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about that because within this organization, there's Required Fitness, and that made my ears stand up. And I'm like, I want to know more about that. So talk about Required Fitness.
So my mom passed away 2021 from breast cancer, metastatic breast cancer, and I took it kind of hard. That was my mom, right? But one of the things I said to myself in my grief is I want to be her living legacy. And I literally took the time just to evaluate the things that she wanted to do. I was really bummed. She talked about traveling and she never got to travel. That's very superficial. But I also thought about, because of her health, the things that she was limited in her mindset, right? So it's like, you got to eat healthier. I'm of Haitian descent. We can't have our rice and beans. We're like basically about to die. And I remember I used to have the conversation like you can still live and eat. And so I just made in my mind that I'm going to, so for my birthday that year, I started a week later though, August 28th. My birthday is the 21st. August 28th, about 2 years ago, I told myself that I'm going to start working out and improve my health for my mom. That's the best way I can honor her, because I missed her. So I had like I brought like 40% of her closet to my house. Like, it was just a bit much, but I was like, okay, this is too much stuff. But how can I honor her in a very real way? And I started working out, and I knew me, so I went every single day.
Oh,
I
wow.
started a locker challenge. So what I did was, every time I went, I took a picture of the lockers. The lockers at my gym have 131 lockers. So I told myself, I'm going to work out until I have worked out every single locker. And of course, I made it through, and I'm like, what do I do now? So I restarted, and I just kept on going. I had a friend that would meet me. We would hold each other accountable. And then I just started Required Fitness, this idea that our temple, this temple, it can glorify God in terms of being healthy. And so this whole idea of body goals, right? So it's like, all right, we got body goals, we have health goals, we have our soul goals. It's the whole temple. And so with that being said, we started a small page, about 25 women, where I just post workouts, videos, and just reality, like fighting with the FUPA, just a reality check. You start Monday real great, and then by Wednesday you have a downfall with meals. And so it's just looking at the whole mindset of being healthy. We haven't got into the mental health yet, and I pray to do that eventually. But right now it's just physical health and nutrition, what we put in our body and how we move this body, because it's the only one we got, and it's the one that we need to do the work that we've been called to do.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
That is. And so how many women participate with that now?
So Required Fitness has 27 women in our group that work out, and it's amazing because one has gone on to become her own fitness instructor in doing Pilates on the machine, and it's just growing, and people are sharing, and there are other people who are interested. So I had a lot of watchers. So at first, Required Fitness was on my main page where I was posting videos and making comments, but then I realized that men were watching too, and I don't know. It's like, because then I remember being at a church function, and they were not disrespectful, but it just made me realize like maybe I might want to like switch gears. It's like, you're doing a great job, working out. Like, oh, I see you working out, and then I'm like, oh man, that's really not my purpose. For people to see me working out is to encourage women, and so then I'm like, let me just create a group called Required Fitness. I'll post on my regular page. I'll post like I'm still here. I'll post doing a pull up, but showing certain moves and dispositions. It just didn't work with the camera, the angle. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get off the main page, make a smaller group so I can show my true videos, and I still highlight working out, keep moving your body on my main page. But Required Fitness is more personal, because then we can do like pictures before and after. Like we can get more personal with less discretion, because it's just females.
Gotcha. And yeah, I did that. I started my workout journey. That had to been right before COVID, I think. No, right during COVID. And I was posting like everyday videos, but the comments that I was getting in my DMs, I'm like, oh yeah, that might
unsolicited. That's not the
that's there. So like, oh, okay, well, might not want to. But anyway, with the transition of me moving and all of that, I kind of got away from it, but I need to go back. I actually talked with a friend of mine today, and he had made comment about it. And I was like, he said, oh, you just been eating everything. I was like, how could you say that?
It's like a dagger in your heart. Like,
right. I'm like, you know what? But maybe I need that gut check, because it's not like I'm short of equipment here in my house. Like I have everything that I would need. It's just
motivation and accountability. That's one thing I did do. I did invest the money at the front end and got a coach, because there's something about a Monday morning weigh-in.
Hold on, that's my alarm. Let me see what's going on. I shall return. Talk.
Okay. I would say there's something about knowing that there's a Monday morning weigh-in that makes you fix yourself if you're acting up on a Saturday. There's a countless Saturdays where I was like, tomorrow, Sunday, I need to get in line. I'm taking my Mago pills. I'm trying to flush out because I need to text him my weight. I need to text him what I ate. And every single Monday, I had to take pictures of my front to the side and to the back every single week. And it's nothing worse than you get on the numbers don't go the right way, and then he's asking you the questions. And so I never even saw him, but accountability to April's point is huge. Having someone you have to answer to just kind of whips you into shape real quick because you don't want to
So
disappoint and you don't want to be embarrassed for them to be like, so what were you thinking? Right? It's like, I wasn't. And he was really
I
good about,
just, yeah.
why didn't you call me? It's like, I don't even know why I didn't. So accountability is everything.
It most definitely is. Do you in the program attack some like underlining things like the relationship with food
We have
or
talked about that.
yeah, like those kind of things? And then what does it look like for, different ages? Like what a 20-year-old may need is definitely different than someone in their 40s or 50s. And nutrition wise it's different. The way that we work out, especially after we start hitting 40, perimenopause, menopause starts to hit, like that all looks different. So is that something that's also addressed in this?
So it's something that I started exploring, and it's funny that you should say it because I literally went to a girls' conference literally on the last Saturday in May. And with a group of women, I asked them that question because I'm 46 going on 47. And I have been reading a lot about bone loss and the importance of weightlifting. And the weight doesn't go off like it's sticking. So I had this group of older women, and I literally was asking them about perimenopause and weight loss, and they were really providing some great information that I actually want to bring back to the group. So this is something that is fairly new for me because I'm trying to prepare myself and be more proactive than anything. In our group, we don't have that many. Well, older is relative, right? Like we don't have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of older, wiser women. We have a lot of people that watch, but not necessarily might engage. So I actually never taken a poll of the age, but I would say the oldest person probably our group is maybe like 52. We haven't spoken specifically, but my goal is to eventually do more things in person, like our prayer hike we had this past Saturday, to come together, to move our bodies, and to begin to talk about our own journey. Because there's a lot that we can share. And I try to empower the women that I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to do better. But I believe we all have something that we can share with each other so that we can just help each other along the way. So that is a topic that I am interested in exploring because
Yeah.
I told the older women, I want to know because I don't have someone to tell me, right? I don't have my mom in my life to share her stories of when it happened to her, what it looked like. And so I rely heavily on other women.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome. I think it's great. The more I think I start paying attention, being selfish in my own routine, and like you said, taking care of myself, because as entrepreneurs, as wives, as moms, we do a lot of neglecting of self.
Yeah.
Um and so I'm like, you know what? Like, there's a lot of things I still want to do, and I'm not trying to die right now. But now I hear certain things of like, eating based upon, your cycle and whatever phase that you're in, and things
Or
that
your
can be able
blood
to
type.
help, or exactly eating your blood type. That one I had heard for some time. I grew up in my mom is a holistic health coach. So like, I grew
Okay.
up in that stance and understanding food in relationship to a lot of different things because
Mm,
she chose not to medicate my brother. And so she went an alternative route with a lot of the diagnosis that he ended up getting. So like, from that standpoint, I was aware, but it's crazy. It's like, we're here. I just turned 40. It's like, why you got to get to this point? When you know what I mean? It's like, if I would have known this in my 20s, like, I mean, I know I'm bad, but like, do you know what I would have been if I would have been doing this like 20 years ago? But
yeah.
my aunt, I spent some time with her, and she's in her mid 70s, and she was like, this bone density thing and this muscle mass loss thing.
It's
She's
real.
like, it's real. And she's over here like, look at this. Like, and she's like, I've never been flabby. Like, I've never been this. Like, look at, and she's, you know, and then it's weird because now you start looking in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and just the same as, you know, going through puberty and having to accept a whole new body
Body.
change,
Yeah.
that's exactly that was going on, you know, as well. And she's like, I wish I would have known in my 30s and my 40s that I should have been doing something. So it was a wake up call really for me too, where it was like, okay, you know, you might have a decent metabolism where you don't have to really do too much, and you know, things start falling off. Like,
And it starts
newsflash,
changing.
that's about to change,
Yeah, I'll
and you're
never
gonna have
forget.
to do something different, you
Yeah, my
know.
primary doctor, I think I was 38, and she told me flat out, like I wasn't severely obese. I was definitely 20 pounds overweight. But she
Hmm.
said, how you go into your 40s, that's how you're gonna be for your life. And I was like, what? Like that's why is why is she talking like that? But she basically was like, hey Mel, she basically was saying like, you want to carry your groceries, you want to be able to
Hmm.
walk up the stairs, and I'm like, man, she has a point. So I lift weights 5 days a week. I'm always lifting and not super heavy. I'm starting to progress more and do progressive overload, but I recognize that I just want to be strong. When people are like you work out all the time, and I want to be that grandmother that, like my mom, there were things she could not do with my boys. Right, if we're going somewhere, she'd be like, "Oh, I'll see you when you get back." Because I was
Yeah.
looking over my phone to find a picture of her, and I realized the last year of her life, she wasn't in any of our pictures. She was at any of the gathering because she was tired, couldn't be there. And I told myself, I want to run with my grandkids. I want to play when they're going to Disney World. I want them to be like, Grandma can come, like, because yeah, I can. I don't want to be left in the room, right? Like I want to go. And so that bone density is real.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Take a look just for kicks, and information wise. But do you remember Curves back in the day? What is that, like early 2000s?
I
It was
think
like a
so.
gym for women.
Yep.
And they had like this 30-minute circuit that
Yep.
you went
The
around.
purple.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, all of those. That circuit in and of itself actually helps build bone density. My mom went
Mm.
through a crazy bout of advanced like premature osteoporosis in her late 30s,
Wow.
and it had to do with like thyroid issues. And in doing that, she was able to go from having the bone density of an 83-year-old to going back to being like mid 20s, early 30s. So like it was younger than her actual chronological age, just in that circuit. So you know what I mean,
Wow.
just yeah, just for, you know, kicks to add things to, like you said, your website, some, you know, your
Mm-hmm.
other content and things, to just bring awareness to, you know, think nobody's really talking about this. So I appreciate you really putting it together, you know, especially holding the accountability part is key. That's where I know I
Accountability
falter.
is key. It is
You
Well,
know,
I
if
key.
you're not
I
calling
had the
like,
gut.
hey, get up.
No,
Well, I had the
it's
gut punch
true.
today, so I gave myself grace since I just got back in town yesterday. And when I woke up this morning, I'm like, I can barely move. What is this? I'm so tired. But yeah, I can't do that tomorrow. Get up because I'm going to bed on time tonight. I've been going to bed
Mhm.
late since Wednesday of last week. Tonight, I'm going to bed early so I can get up early and get my workout in. I just got a new piece of equipment that I absolutely love, and I just
Ooh,
need to get on there. It's
what is it called?
off TikTok, and it is a twister. A little twister thing. I can't even. I have to send. I'll send you the link for it. But I pay like $40 for it, and you get on and you just twist. You do it. You can hold weights, but it has the
Mm-hmm.
strap, the resistance bands to it. But I use weights, and you just twist your lower body, and it tones up your back. And of course, you're
Okay.
holding weights. You can do some things with the weights. It works on your arms and your abs. Listen, when I get done, like my thighs are like burning. Like,
Oh,
oh my.
that sounds like it's a full body. Full
Yeah.
body exercises are
And
always
you only
amazing.
they say do 15 minutes a day, but if you can do 15 minutes twice a day,
Hmm.
of course, it really, your body, like my body will start to conform because I've done the working out daily for so long and I've just been off balance for about a year. So I got to kick start it again. But my body's like, oh, okay, so we doing this again. All right.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
I always tell people it's a journey, and there's going to be detours in the journey, but the destination has always been the same, right? The destination doesn't change, and that's what I love about God. Like, He doesn't change His mind about what He wants for us. We might get sidetracked, we might get distracted, but whenever we get back on with our water, with our sleep, with our diet, with our movement, He's like, yes, it's because it is the whole package. And sometimes we actually neglect sleep because we feel like we got to be busy, we got to be on. But sometimes someone told me, like, there is purpose in pausing. Like, sometimes pausing looks like nothing. People outwardly like, you're not doing anything. I'm rebuilding. I am resting. I am processing. I'm growing. It doesn't look like anything, but there's definitely purpose in a pause. I believe that.
Yeah, I would always feel guilty about that pause all the time because I felt like I needed to be doing something productive every moment of the day. And even when my kids were living at home, and I would just be so exhausted that I'm like nodding off, and they're like, Mom, just go take a nap. I'm like, but it's only 3 o'clock and I need to be working. And they're just rolling their eyes like, are you serious? Like, yeah, I need to be. And then they said it enough to where I'm like, okay, let me go take this nap. But I would take the nap, wake up, and be mad because there's 2 hours gone that I could have been doing something, but not thinking about what was going on internally because my body said, hey, either you lay me down or I'm going to lay you down. Right.
Yes.
So, and I have experienced that. And it's
not good. I almost lost my job over something like that. When I lived in Ohio, and when I worked in the hospital in surgery, I love taking call because that's time and a half. And, it's just boom, boom, boom. Check was nice. And I'm just taking call. Because I'm like, the hospital is like 5 minutes from my place. I could just go 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm doing 6 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. And then after a while, my body said no. And I was down for a week and a half. The doctor didn't even know what was wrong with me. And I was in quarantine in my room because they didn't know. And so I'm like separated from my kids. And my boss is like, you coming back to work because you on the edge here. Like, I want to, but I can't. So after that, not ever again. So
and that's actually the theme of our next Jules and Jeans next year is pushing pause and really talking about the pause, the purpose, the power, like all the P's in the pause, because we have been trained to think that we have to hustle and move, and that's what productivity looks like. We have to be busy. Like an efficient plate is a full plate, because we know we've been to those events where it's buffet, and you look at someone's plate and you're like, just because the spread is there, you don't got to put it all on your plate. And I think sometimes that God just like, there are many opportunities and there are a lot of great things happening. I didn't tell you to eat it all at the same time. Like, that's gluttony. Like, you look a bit much, right? And so I'm looking like, he's like, I don't clap you when you busy. I applaud you when you're efficient. I applaud you when I get the glory. Do I get the glory out of your unrest? Do I get the glory out of you just too tired to pour into the place where you're supposed to pour? You can't pour everywhere. Never forget, I heard that we have this vessel. We need to know when to pour and when to let it drip. Some people only worthy of a drip. And some people are worthy of a pour. And some people are just like, we're going to stop for now. I'm going to take a break.
Yeah. That's good. That's
closed for the afternoon. We will reopen on Monday.
Yeah, that's a lot to unpack there because we have been conditioned and trained to just keep going and going, and then we walk around looking shriveled up because we've given everything, and even what we don't have, we've tried to give that, and then how are we getting replenished? So we have to know when to, like you say, take a pause. Now I'm going to need all that information for next year so I can get my ticket, so I can find out where it's going to be so I can get there, because I'm all about traveling. I'll be there.
We're in the planning phase, but it's going to be an overnight because of the nature of the pause. It's going to take some time, but I'm pretty excited about it because it is necessary. We have
Yeah.
amazing goals that we want to accomplish, but if we don't take time to plan, take time to pray and prepare, like they just won't come to fruition, or there'll just be a delay. Like it, like you said in the beginning, they will come to pass, but we might miss the mark. And missing the mark, and you're correct. Our purpose is always tied to other people's. So our purpose and our gifts are not for us. Like God didn't give us a gift and to be like, oh my God, I can sing. Like I sing in my shower, but like you sing so that you can inspire other people. So if you never
Right.
drop a track, if you're not doing it outwardly, it's not a gift. And so
Yeah.
it's like in order to plan, practice, prepare, because we have to do things in the spirit of excellence, it's going to take a pause. Like we
Yeah.
have to.
That's right.
Absolutely. I think in this time where there's a lot of women talking about, being in their soft girl era, I honestly believe like we always need to take a step back because, trendy phrases can definitely be um misdefined or defined in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that pause is something that does that. Why? Because it takes us out of survival mode. That need to
Yeah.
constantly hustle is a survival mode, like reaction. And when you're in that, your senses are heightened, your
That's
cortisol is
true.
heightened, your all of these things. And then you obviously can't be able to make really sound
Sound decisions.
decisions.
So
Yeah.
true.
So like if let's really talk about what the definition of soft girl era really is. And I think the first place you start is at that pause. Because once you can learn
Mhm.
how to pause, then everything else just kind of comes naturally, and I think like the first part of like my prayer in that was that, get someone else to do it, and I was like, because I'm someone where, like you said, like for me at an entrepreneurial buffet, I'm like, yeah, give me the biggest plate and like let's put it all up there. Like I go to bed with like 15 business ideas, floating through, like I don't even know where to put this and shut this off for a minute. But at the same time, my prayer then was like, I know that that's a blessing. I know that there's a reason why
Mhm.
I have that. So I'm like, Lord, show me how to be able to work that.
Steward
One,
it. Yeah.
exactly. But two, give me or like take away that feeling of anxiousness. Like
Yeah.
I need to be doing all of
Now,
that.
now, now.
Yes, exactly. And right now. And I'm telling you, even today, it's been like my whole day like switched with just this one little, or not even day, my whole like 6 month plan has
Wow.
changed just by what has happened today. And I realized I was like, you know what? There's a reason for
Mm.
this. So I'm going to take this pause
Mm.
because there's a reason why there is a pause being put on this. But I understand that this no still doesn't necessarily mean no, not ever. This is a no, not right
Not
now, because you
now.
need to be right here for this so that when I do put you over here, now you're really rocking it. So, I'm like, okay, so now my focus isn't just, oh man, why is this paused or why can't I do this now? But okay, in this part, what am I going to get or what is it that I need to be getting?
And learning.
Exactly. So that when I step out of then this, then I can be able to step into the next part. So
Can I
yes,
just tell
the
you,
pause, all for it.
you made me get so excited because I have seen some younger ladies like the soft girl era, and I have my sister-in-law. We're just going back and forth about what that means and what that looks like. And it's like there's that self-care which we talk about, which is not selfish, but you can't be
Hmm.
so self-indulgent in the soft life that you're like abusing other people for the sake of
Mhm.
softness.
Yeah.
Like I know I was listening to some things like, can we tell these younger girls, and like I have sons and I don't want them to be dating any of these girls who think that they meet a guy and it's like the soft life is do everything for me. Like that, like,
Yeah.
like I'm in my soft era, so carry me, feed me. It's like what's happening? Or I'm in my soft era, and then you're like financially not being a good steward of your funds because it's like my nails need to be done, and your other half of your life is deplorable. Like you're not saving, you have no investments, you can't take care of yourself. So it's like there has to be a balance. And I think you
Yes.
did a phenomenal job in just stating that it's about pausing and doing things in excellence and
Yes.
taking care of yourself, and it gives you time to be gracious to you and other people. You're not hostile, right? So that then it gives you that gracefulness, that soft. Like she's tender. She's not irritable.
Yes.
She's slapped, so she's kind. She has more patience.
Yeah,
She's not
exactly.
she's not hungry, so she's more amicable.
Exactly, exactly. And all of those things, what she's doing when she's sleeping, are you definitely sleep between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. while your hormones are resetting and regenerating, or are you up disrupting that? You know what I mean? What are you eating that's going to be helping you be able to do all of those things? Like you can go deep into each one of those sections as far as that's concerned. But no, it's not about, like you said, getting, some man or even, some woman, some other person to serve you, because at the end of the day, relationships are about service of each other too. So if you're
Mhm.
not going to be coming to the table with that attitude of service and just wanting and an entitlement to be served, we already know how that's going.
Mhm.
That's
It's
going
not
to end
going
up.
anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's done.
We
It's
know how
over
that's
before
going
it
to
ever
end.
got started.
No, it's
Yes,
true.
yes,
It's not going to fare
absolutely.
well. It's not going to fare
Absolutely.
well.
So
So,
yeah.
since you have started the organization and everything that you're doing, I know that there are some stories that are great successes that give you the confirmation again that this is the time and this is what you were supposed to do in this very moment. What has, without giving too much
Hmm.
information on that, what has been one of the greatest things that has come about that's made you know, yes, this is what I needed to do?
Well, can I just tell you? Okay, so I'll pick two. The first one, and Mel is on here. So Mel and my brother are god brothers. His mom is my was my mom's very best friend, and my brother's godmother. And we reached out to each other. I can't remember how we got in contact, but he was like, "What are you up to?" And I was talking about required women and how I want to like get merch. And he's like, "I have someone." So he helped me. It's my sweatshirt right now. Helped me link up with someone, and of course I had that very small mentality, like no one's gonna buy it, and just connecting with him, connecting me with somebody else, and then connecting me with you. And so I definitely say when I'm obedient, and that's what God told me on Saturday, and I was sharing with you. When I walked up that hill and I got to the top, and God, I was just like, God, I yield to you. I'm always trying to figure out the next thing and then pre-planning the next thing. So then I'm pre-planning to be afraid. I'm pre-planning to be disappointed. I'm pre-planning to not feel equipped. And God's like, stop doing that. Because then you just like, I don't even know why you think you can do ahead. Like that's not in your capability. So stop. So it's like just yield. Like say yes and go. And when I calm myself down, he's like, now I can open the door, right? It's just like you trying to get at the door, like relax, calm. Like sometimes I feel like God
I
talks to like,
feel that.
calm down, sit on your hands if you have to, be quiet. Now I'm gonna open the door. And you're like,
Mm.
okay, and then I can walk on through. I will say the other success that I've had, a couple of them are on here. I have watched. So someone like Katya Ira, I can share her story because it's amazing. She started off as one of my young people. I got to be the pleasure of being her youth pastor. I had the pleasure of being her maid of honor. She was a speaker at the first Jewels and Jeans. And we talked about this whole idea of pushing and operating in faith. And I remember talking with her. We both worked probably about 3 blocks from each other when we had our jobs, different jobs. And we would talk about venturing off and walking by faith. And she was started getting in real estate. And I never forget, we talked it through. And she's like, I think I'm going to leave my job because I know what my passion is, right? To whom much is given, much is required. And her husband, who have like, he started as a seamstress. He was a tailor in Haiti. They are now a power couple. They have their own business. He's a contractor, from tailor to contractor. She is from case manager in a senior home to now a real estate, amazing real estate. And they are flipping houses successfully to the point where they are teaching other people how to be investors, how to build homes. She's constantly being showcased and interviewed and sharing. And I'm looking at her like, this was one of my young people. Like I think I reposted her today. I'm like, this is an example of a required woman. And she is humble. She is gracious. Her and her husband are absolutely amazing. And they just want to serve and help people. And that's what I love. It's like their desire is to serve, and God is blessing them in return. that makes me doubly excited, like doubly excited. And so seeing women prosper, I have a friend who I have dragged with me every step of the way. And every year and a half, she would get unrest, like I'm not happy. And I remember I started to feel like, and we both knew it, like you weren't called to work for anyone else. You were meant to work for yourself. She would try to get a job, then she would get scared because she has two kids, and she would go back to working for someone else, become unhappy, try to, another entrepreneur. And then finally, I think last year, she's like, I know what I need to do. And I'm like, are you ready to say yes? And when she said yes, the doors that got open, she got into school. She got a scholarship from the program that she was in, a grant. And she, in the next year, will be launching her own adult day facility that has a business design like none other I have ever seen. And I'm looking at her like, girl, you did that. And I'm always reminding her, like, you are a required woman. It's scary, but she's doing it afraid, and God is opening doors. And so today I was telling her, I was like, you should be interviewed because you are an amazing woman. If you
Yes,
are
yes.
doing
Send
it
her our way. Send her our way. You
I'm
need
sitting
afraid,
here
to.
writing names down. Katia, please
yes,
reach out to me. Year one, and this other young lady, I want them both. We
yes,
want them
they
both.
are they are amazing, hands down. The work that I've seen them do firsthand,
Mhm.
it's, again, I get no glory. I get the joy when I see them prosper, because then I can put in the comments when they're posting, I'm like, I know her. And that's enough for me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, I'm always telling her, don't forget that I know you. Don't forget I was your Sunday school teacher.
And then that gives you the greatest joy
It
and
does.
confirmation, because sometimes, like you said, do it scared, do it
Yeah.
afraid. You know that it's there. You feel like this is drawing me, this is
Yeah.
pulling me. But sometimes we allow fear and apprehension and listening to other people keep us from moving. But then when we get over that and say, you know what, I'm just going to jump in, just all gas, no brakes. I'm just going all in. And then when it opens up, then I know for me, sometimes it's like, man, I should have done this a long time ago. But going back to the timing, going
Yep.
back to the maturing,
Yep.
something needs to be changed in you to where you're ready. So maybe you think you thought you were ready at that point, but
Mm-hmm.
that might have not been the time. But this is the time, because look at how it's flourishing. That's
You
I
did. You
want
did.
both of them
I
on
will.
board.
And I'm reading the comment. I might way back, Mel. I gave you your props because of you. I stepped out because I was definitely like getting quiet, and he was like, "Go big," and so encouraging and pushing me. I remember I made my first order super small, and even the person he linked me up with is they're called Push, and he's like, "Push yourself, like market yourself, don't stop, like you limit yourself. You don't know what people are capable of doing, so don't box them in. It's like just put yourself out there." And it's like, okay. And then I had to remind myself, like, I've never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed
That's
begging for
right.
bread. And I won't be
Absolutely.
begging. And God is not disappointed.
That's
So
right. That is
he's
right.
good.
He still
That's
has
right.
his hand of approval and his expansion
Yes.
yet to come. I think Mel had put into the comments way back. He said that required women will be worldwide. So
I
Mm.
love
that's
it.
prophetic in its own right there.
Oh,
So
thank
we're
you.
just waiting for that to come to pass, and it'd be sooner than you think. Sooner than you think.
Absolutely. Well, once I get in wherever I am, you are always more than welcome
Oh,
where I
thank
am to
you.
be able to host. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you. This was very encouraging. I appreciate you all so
Yeah.
much.
So I definitely want to get those two young ladies on.
I will definitely send you their information.
Definitely whenever they're available to come on, so they see how it flows, so they
Yeah.
know what to do with that. So even with the greatest successes, I know nothing happens without some difficulty, because we have an adversary who wants to stop whatever is going to be a blessing to people
Yeah.
and help them grow and get out of a stuck place. And
Mm-hmm.
so he'll throw, which God allows him to throw, these monkey wrenches in there or cause some
He
difficulty.
does.
What has been some obstacles that you have come up against with getting required women going, and maybe something that made you say, you know what, I'm not going to do this? Is it going to work? If that ever came about or no?
I mean, I would say my two biggest obstacles. The first one, Huh, she is a pain. She means well, but she is a pain because she looks at the limits and not the impossibilities. And
Mhm.
she is Winnie Green. She is, you know how you working with someone, it's like if you would just fall in line. I have often been my biggest obstacle because I'm an idea person. Um, like shower, in my sleep, driving, I will like, and my ideas are visual. Like I will see it and instantly be inspired, and then instantly also start making excuses for why it cannot be right.
Mhm.
Like who's gonna, and that's the thing, who's gonna come, that voice, who's gonna come. No one wants to do this, or everybody is doing this, and I've had people tell me everybody is not doing it. Like, and
Mhm.
that lie is from the enemy. No one, and if someone is doing it like you, they are not you, so it's actually not like you. And I have to tell myself that, that I am unique, literally, and there is no one like me. And so what I bring to the table, it cannot be duplicated. So if
Mhm.
I don't do it, it will not be done the way that God gave it to me. So
Mhm.
getting past myself is one. And the second one is just dealing with people who are busy. Sometimes you put the money down and then you put the tickets out there, and then you're just waiting for people to, and then you get nervous. So this past Jules and Jeans, I scaled back in terms of what I was offering because I wanted to stay within budget, because I'm definitely trying to separate my personal finances from this, right? But I definitely had a point where I told my husband, I'm like, I think I need to cancel, and he's like, you don't. You do it within your what you have, and it will be successful. And so that was the one time I thought like it's not going to happen. Of course, the women came through. They're like, life was happening. I bought my tickets late. You know, the room was about half capacity, but people still showed up and were blessed. And so, um, honestly, I am, well, I won't say I am, I'm gonna speak past,
Mhm.
I was my biggest hindrance. I used
Mhm.
to call myself, and I stopped about 3 years ago. I would say, hi, I'm Winnie Green, and I'm a professional procrastinator. I stopped doing that 3 years ago. So I'm like, girl, you're just fulfilling, stop. So I no longer say that. I no
Right.
longer say that. So to answer your question, it's me. It was me. I was the problem. And it's funny because God's like, you are the solution and you are the problem. So you just gotta fix
Mhm.
yourself.
Yeah. One thing that Morgan says all the time is no matter who's doing the same, the people are coming and buying because of you.
The person.
You
Yeah.
are unique. So your way of doing it, if we both are doing a women's conference and we have a lot of similarities, my personality might not be for them, but yours is. So
That's
they're going to
true.
flock to you and it's going to be successful. Then I'll get the ones that are for my personality,
It's
but
true.
they're
It's
buying
true.
you. They're coming in because of you. And Katya has said it. She said she's a powerhouse, powerhouse. Powerhouse. They love you, and it's all in the comments. Mel, really? You gonna come in all late?
No, I came in early. I just wanted to salute y'all. I didn't want to interrupt. You guys are doing a great job. Morgan's doing. She held it down when the fire alarm went off. Good thing you answered quick. When Nika's answering the questions. What's up, family? Listen,
How you
all
doing?
I had was it's basically I'm a piggyback off of my family. What she just said. When I start thinking negative, because I'm like that too. I'm always in my head. You know what I'm saying? Always in my head. I could come up with the best ideas, best things, and all this other things, but then I'd be like, I sit there and think of all the negative. Why
Mhm.
work? Nobody's gonna do this. Nobody's gonna support me. And if we talked about on this show before, you know, you manifest things by it being a thought first and having nothing but positive thinking. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we block our own blessings.
It's true.
Necessarily sometimes it can be someone else, but it all starts within ourselves first. If we don't
Mhm.
do that, remember how I said one time I told my children stop saying they can't do things because
Yep.
the minute it gets into your subconscious,
It sticks.
exactly, you're gonna be stagnant. So that's all I wanted to add. But you ladies are doing a great job. Morgan held it down. You know what I'm saying? Morgan, the great co-host.
Mhm.
April Spring is what I do her. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all ladies doing a good job. I love it.
Thank
Thank
you.
Well,
you.
thank you. We
Appreciate
appreciate
that.
it. Look, are we gonna see you next week?
What happened?
I said we gonna see you next
Oh,
week. Oh, what happened?
I think the sound is no, sir. Yeah, if it's next week, well, April told me in July, so I was ready.
yeah, he started getting scared. So he was like, well, wait a minute. I said, you know what, we'll just bump you back to July and you'll have time to get it together. So Mel, get it together or I will make it Monday.
That part.
Yeah, or we'll just throw you out there. You just got to figure it out. Come on.
Oh,
You
like
think
the young people say, clock it. Look, you just.
Exactly. If nothing else, I would like to at least have you on at the end of the month for He Said, She Said.
Hmm.
yes.
there for
We
that. So
can't hear you. Your mic is covered up.
What'd you
no,
say?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I said I definitely could be there. I'm just joking around. It was just April shocked me because we spoke behind the scenes, and next thing you know, I'm listening to the live, and I hear, yeah, we our next special guest is back Mel. I said, what? Did I hear my?
You got to stay ready.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it
Be
Yes.
ready.
saying too,
Absolutely.
get ready, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, but listen, y'all had a great guest though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
A
Thank you
Thank
woman.
very
you.
much. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, we'll see you for He Said, She Said, and then we'll see you in July.
Okay, yeah. Listen, Pride Women
Twice.
merch will be everywhere. Y'all just remember that. It's gonna happen. And it's taking off. You know what I'm saying? No more Rockefeller, no more Sean John. It's gonna be required.
Oh, thank you. I receive it. I receive it. I
I hear
receive
That's
it.
that.
right.
Yes.
Receive that.
Back in the chat.
All right. Well, this has been amazing. Mel is hilarious. Yeah,
He
I just
is.
told him. I didn't ask. I told him you'll be on. He was like, wait, what?
He
What are you
told
talking
me.
about?
He told me he was like, "Can you do it? You can say no." And I'm like, "I'm gonna say yes."
Yeah, he doesn't get that option. It's a yes for him. Like he's been following us and on the shows for like the
Yeah.
past 2 years. So yeah, he
Yeah.
gets no passes. We tell him what to do.
It's called voluntold. You have
You're
been
right. You
Voluntold.
are
Yes.
voluntold. Okay.
voluntold.
Yes.
Yes. So I would okay. How can if someone outside of Massachusetts wants
Yeah.
to become involved, come to whatever you're going to have because people, people have money they like to hide and they can travel. They say they don't have it, but they do. How can they get in contact with you or email you or whatever so they can get more information and all of that?
Oh, for sure. So we have a Facebook group. So Required Women is on Facebook. Our Instagram is a work in progress. But I also have my own personal page, Winique Green. We also have an email if you want to email requiredwomen@gmail.com. Our website is currently being reconstructed. It might be taken down for a while. So because our merchandise that we have on hand needs to be kind of like uploaded. So we're really working with our email, requiredwomen@gmail.com, our Required Women Facebook page. You can always just uh, email me or DM me. And then all of our information for our events are always posted on there. We have our, devotions, everything kind of flowing from our Facebook page. That's kind of where everything kind of sits. That's our clearinghouse for now until we expand back to our website.
Awesome. Well, I know I love being a part of things like that. So I'm going to go on to the group
Yeah.
and join the group and, get in and participate how I can. That is amazing. That's one of my ministries is with women and women of all ages, of all situations, they are married, single, children, no children,
All of
all of
it.
that. So it's been like that for years. So I just love pouring into women. I do. And seeing them blossom into
Yes.
who they were created to be, not who I'm telling them they need to be,
Yes.
who they are already. And I just kind of lead them along, walk with them, all of that, using what they already have. That's important. So they
It
don't do
is.
what we want them to do or what we think they should do, and then they become resentful. We have to find out, and it takes discernment to see those gifts that have been placed in them, and then
Mm.
now help them develop those gifts so now they can go on off into the sunset doing what they're supposed to do.
Ah,
So
you preaching now. My husband is actually, that's what our Bible study is about right now. It's spiritual gifts. And the
wow.
idea that when we're all walking in our giftedness, we are healthy, we are whole, and we are holding each other up, and no one will be
Mhm.
left back. So that's spot on. So what I will do if people visit our Facebook is I'll pin all of our events up top so people can see the prayer hikes. We have a morning prayer call, Women Who Pray Monday through Friday. So all of our events, I'll pin them at top so people can see how they
Yeah.
want to get involved and so into the ministry. We would love that. We just we want women to be lifted up, because when women are lifted up, right, we carry our communities and our families on our back. So when women are being lifted up, they're lifting their families, and their communities are stronger as well.
Absolutely. We do that. The power of the woman.
It's
We
true.
do that.
It's true.
Well,
It's
this
true.
has yet been another great show. We've come to the end. It always goes so fast when you're enjoying great conversation. I'm so happy to now be connected to you and have you a part of my circle. It's great. Like the ones you think gonna be in your circle are not.
True.
And then
It's
you
true.
get new people come in. It's like, wow, this is amazing to take you further than what you ever thought you could go, because there's other resources, there's other areas. So I have enjoyed this evening. I'm so glad you were able to come on and share with us. I'm looking forward to working together with you, being a part of what you have going on. This is the kind of stuff that excites me, like being able to
Yes.
do connections. Like, okay, this is not by chance. What am I supposed to do with this? Okay, now what's next? So this isn't just today and then we're done. No, I believe this is something for a while,
Yeah,
a lifetime.
there's definitely more to come. Well, I want to say thank you to you and Morgan for being amazing host and allowing me to come to the Boss Ladies Lounge,
Yeah.
hosted by House of Peace. So thank you so much. I shared it out to as many people as I could on my social media over and over. I'm sure people like you sent it to me already. I was listening to past shows while I'm on the treadmill the last
Uh-huh.
2 days. So this has definitely been a pleasure. And
Awesome.
have a great night. And to anyone who's listening now and on the replay, just be encouraged that to whom much is given, much is required. And if you feel like I can't take it anymore and I need a break, pushing pause to reset is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. And when we pause, we come back even stronger and more resilient. So every now and then I need to hear it like, you got this, sis.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So normally at this time I talk about my business and my coffee and
Yes.
all that, but I'm being led to do something a little different this evening. So y'all know, a lot of y'all know that a couple years ago I was blessed to write this book, my first one, Intentional You: A Push to Destiny. I still have a few copies left until I put launch out, which will be, I've given myself July 31st to put the second one out. So I sold some in at some event I was in, I think a couple weekends ago, they were buying them up. And so I still have a few left. So if you would like that, it's just 31-day devotional to help get you to your destiny. There's a reflection page in there where you can write reflections of how that entry has, or what you've read has impacted you, and how it has affected you, and what it makes you think about you and where you're going, your next steps. So I have that available. Reach out to me and I will make it available to you. But until next Monday, y'all, at the same time on all of these platforms that we're on. And as Peach told us, she sent us a message to say that this show is actually being streamed in the app. So it's already being streamed in the app. Don't forget, in July, the app for the House of Peach will be launched. You will see all of Boss Ladies Lounge on there, information all about that, clips from shows, uh, interviews with entrepreneurs, articles, you name it, events. It's going to be in there. I know you will enjoy it. So until next Monday, Morgan, you have something that you want to say before we get out of here?
Nope, I'm on it. I will see you guys next Monday.
All right, next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the rest of y'all know what time that is. Look that up. I won't tell you. Okay. All right, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.